Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the opening round of Racecentre's GT3 League for 2020. Tonight we're at the Mugello circuit, which we recently visited in our Formula One league, but tonight we're in the GT3s, and it's a completely different circuit. I'm your host, Shane Gilfeather, and I'll be commentating tonight. We've got three races tonight, all 25-minute long. And each lap is about 5.24 kilometres long. The lap record was set by Lewis Hamilton in a Formula One car, not a GT3, and that was 1 minute 35. But today these guys are doing about the 150, and anyone to crack the 149s will definitely set themselves up the front end of the grid. Currently watching, let's see who we're watching on a qualifier session. We're 6 minutes in. Sorry, we've got 6 minutes to go. We're watching Alan Marks in the Beamer. As he's currently sitting, it doesn't look like many are on there. It looks like they're all on their outlap because we haven't really posted a time as yet. Here he comes down the straight, probably posting his first quali time. Daniel Patterson just literally hopped in the session in the last 5 minutes, and already we see him up the front end of the grid. Trent Grabel has just taken pole in the Bentley of all cars. So great lap by him. That was 149.866. He's definitely dominated the practice session so far as he retires to pit lane. Opatisano in the Beamer. That's the M6 GT3. He's in P2. Alan Marks, as we saw before, in the red Beamer. Generally, there's a good balance of power with these cars, but there are slight differences, and they'll suit each particular track differently. So we'll see how they go over each race. We've got Bryce Cross currently in P5, and he's on a 152.067. Although we're currently watching Tom Foster at the moment, we'll go to Bryce Cross. Interested to see what cars they choose, as it is the opening round. Beamer seems to be a popular choice, also the Ferrari 488. Got about 3-4 Lamborghinis, and our lone Bentley driver is up on pole. So Jeremy Pernes, the seasoned GT3 lead driver, struggling to get grip on one of the corners. I thought that was the last corner onto the straight, to be honest. Liam Earl. Kieran Cutforth will be driving in the Beamer M6. Michael Dinellan's also in the Beamer, recommended by him, as he's hopped in quite late, about 5-10 minutes ago. We should see him climb up through the race, as he's also a seasoned campaigner. All right, Stuart Patterson is in the Lamborghini. All right, I'm just going to fix some on-track audio issues we have. Just please bear with me for a second. That sounds a bit better, but maybe too loud over my beautiful voice. So I'll just turn that down a bit. All right, and that's currently Stuart Patterson in the Lamborghini Huracan, or Huracan, depending on where you're from in the world. Troy Cieslawski also in the Lamborghini Huracan GT3. He's coming in for his flying lap, and he'll cross the line, remaining in P12. So this series brought to you by Logitech True Force. They've just released a new wheel with true accurate force feedback. You can find them in your local good electronics store or gaming stores. Also like to thank Ned Australian Whiskey. So we can see Troy Keselowski just hopping wide there. You can see the car tracking sideways. The track is rubbering up quite quickly, which will make it easier for these guys to race these GT3s around this circuit. It's a beautiful circuit with double Arrabbiata, quite a strong loading, outside loading corner with a double right-hander. Trent still dominating qualifier session with 1.5 minutes to go. He's on a 1:49.866. Closely followed by Daniel Alperasomo on a 1:50. Although he's just crossed the line with a 1:49.282. No, that wasn't Daniel. Okay, so I'm misreading it. Still Trent on top. Daniel in P2 with a 1:50.134. Alan Marks currently in P3. Great effort. These guys haven't touched R Factor 2 ever, as we've just migrated across to R Factor 2 from R Factor 1, and even last year we were using Project Cars 2. So this is a different software, but a better software for physics and tyre model. So they should get into it pretty quickly. Okay, still out on track, Tom Foster in the Hurricane. He was definitely top on the timesheets in practice session. So it looks like the other guys are really gaining through the session, and Tom Foster probably sandbagging, I'd say. Bryce Cross, the best of the Kiwis. He's in pit lane with 10 seconds to go. He's not going to make it around to start another lap. Liam Earl in P6 at the moment. Although we see Foster just jumping up to P3, taking that last lap to get second roll of the grid, just to keep Alan Marks in P4. Oh, nice work keeping it on the road there. Four-wheel slide. Looks like he's having some fun now, finding the limit to that Beamer. Jared Perez is still out on his hot lap. He's not going to crack any fast times with 15 seconds over the first sector. But every lap's a good lap for practice. And as we go down, Kieran Cutforth from New Zealand. Nick Fiddick rejoins us. He's coming to grips with the software as well, as he's in P9 with a 1:53.608. Michael Denellen. Okay, so we've still got Troy Keselowski on circuit. Tom Foster looks like he's come around for another lap, but I think that's checkered flag for him, as he finished in P3. Okay. So for the GT3 League, we've got 8 rounds. Tonight's round 1. Mugello, second round Kyalami. We're going to America to Laguna Seca, Salem Bend, Portimao, Road Atlanta, Macau, and finishing off in Bathurst. Okay, so we'll have a look at qualifying results. Okay, so it was Trent Bell in the Bentley on pole with a 1:49.282, closely followed by Daniel Alperasomo, who did manage to get into the 1:49s, 1:496. Excellent time by him. Thomas Foster also getting in the low 1:50s. Bryce Cross in P5, Liam Earl in P6, Jeremy Perez P7, Kieran Cutforth P8, Nick Fiddick in P9, and rounding out the top 10 will be Michael Denellen in the BMW M6. Okay, so I'll just check with the guys, make sure they're all ready, and we'll get into our first race of the season. Okay, so I don't think there'll be... Okay, just bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, buddy.
Attention grid, will all non-essential personnel leave the grid now?
Okay, so they've got a minute to grid up. It's a standing start. It's a standing start, sorry guys, race control. Someone's just gone wide. That looks like Bryce Cross fallen to the back there. He spun, but up the front. It's Thomas Foster around the outside. Trent Bell on the inside. See what lines they push. Thomas Foster got a great run from P3. It's the top three side by side. A few instances at the back. There's Daniel Patterson, Thomas Foster in P1. Patterson, P2. Sorry, Trent Rebel in P2 and Patterson. P4, that's Liam Earl. He's in Ferrari 588. We're on board. Should be up the front with the leader, Trent Rebel, trying to muscle that massive car, twice the size of Paul Lamborghini. But Thomas Foster's just trying to hold the line there. Trent's going to have to really work to get through. So on board with Trent Rebel now, following Foster. Got Opposano close behind. As Rebel runs a bit wide, trying to get on the gas a bit early, get a better exit, but Foster's there to block that good run. Foster should stay on the inside here. Protect his line. It's going to affect his top speed down the main straight as Trent Rebel goes up the middle there. That's Trent Rebel P1. Thomas Foster couldn't hold off Trent any longer. Daniel Patterson, Liam Earl in P4. And Jeremy Benez in the Ferrari further back with Stuart Patterson. In the Lamborghini, Michael Tonelli in the Beamer. Back up front. Rebel's gone wide, letting Foster up the inside. Probably not the best corner for the Bentley, but he's definitely got it back. It's second corner. Probably not the best sector for the Bentley around this sector. Tight right-handers, switchbacks. He's doing a good job. As it's getting tight between Foster and Opedisano in P3. Everyone on their flying laps at the moment. Posting purple sectors. Opedisano's trying to, well, on their touch, they come together around Arrabbiata. Opedisano wants to go around the outside and he gets the job done. So it's Opedisano up in the P2, Foster's back in the P3. Okay, so starting to space out now. Alamark's just trying to keep in his groove. It is a 25-minute race. We've got 21 minutes left. Bell really stretching that lead out now to 1.7 seconds ahead of Opedisano and Foster in P3. Posting a new fastest lap with 1:49.978. That's definitely in the quali times. So I'd say once the tyres really heat up through the race, those times will drop. That's a good lap from him. Okay, looks like Liam Earl and Jeremy Pernes is just chipping away at the lead there, and they're also getting on the back of Foster, who's dropping back a bit. So this will be a good battle for P3 in the next couple of laps. Okay, so behind them it's Alan Marks together with Nick Fiddick in the Lambo. That's a bit of a battle for P6 as we see Fiddick just running wide trying to get back on the black stuff. We'll call that a George Russell going off into the pebbles there. Further back in P8 it's Michael Tonellan. He's out not on his own but just trying to keep in contact with Fiddick just in front. Yeah, it's not too much of a gap between them. Kieran Cupforth in the Turner BMW M6. He's circulating in P10. We've got Troy Cieslawski in the Lamborghini. And then Stuart Patterson. Obviously something's happened to him. He's dropped right back as he's currently in P12. Back up the front with missed either Greg Bell making a mistake or Opedisano going around the outside of Greg Bell around Arrabbiata as he did with Foster. So, wow, Daniel Opedisano doing a great job. Out in front with a 2.7 second lead. So, Greg Bell's obviously something going on there. Foster's on the back, so we've got like a four-way battle for P2. The gaps are looking good. Fiddick and Tonellan are close together as well, but this battle, it's a four-car battle for P2, worth watching as everyone's posting purple sectors. On board with Foster, trying to chase they're still within touch of each other. This is broken up to a battle for third now as Trent stretched out a bit. Liam Earl, back Jeremy Fernandez. Wow, great top gear there. Our drone cam really capturing the track limits. Those guys to join us for the opening round tonight. Season drivers. I'm not too sure about the DVs background and how long they've been in sim racing. Next round. Okay, we've just seen him rolled out. So back again. Could be having some lag issues there, but he's still in P4. These things happen. Yeah, things not too bad, so going to be just a glitch. Patterson's pulled out of this one. Hopefully he stays for the second race. Bryce Cross chasing down Michael Denellen. This is battle for P8. You see Fittick up ahead, so if he gets the inside line, gets a good mark, tucks in the draft here, and then pull out into turn 1, we'll get the job done. Tries to go out wide, get the inside line on exit, but Denellen's really holding that inside line. Nowhere to go for Cross at the moment. This is our closest battle at the moment, P7, almost for P6. Out the front, it's still Obatasano with a 2-second lead. I think Rebel's slowly closing on that as the gap's only 2 seconds now. Foster another 2.6 seconds back in P3. We'll go back to the battle for 6 as we can see Cross right on the back of Denellen. There it is, there's the gap. It's great racing from these guys. No one's really made a mistake other than the opening lap. It's giving us some good racing today. Michael just running a bit wide. Open a cut in tight. He hasn't really lost any ground there. He's got a different line than Cross at the moment. They're both in the beamers, so balance of power should be there for both of them. Go to track side and see if we can see if Cross can make a move on the inside maybe. But Denellen again's holding that inside line. See Fittick just hitting the grass there, that's going to lose some time. That's how close Cross is behind. This is a good three-way battle at the moment, P6 still. Grabel definitely catching up the front on Opposano's. There we see Fiddick just running wide once again, struggling on those tyres. And that's Denellen up into P6. And we've got Bryce Cross and Fiddick wanting to make, who's lost 2 spots now. No one's really made any pit stop. Liam Earl, who was up the front earlier, has had to make a pit stop for some reason. Not really expecting pit stops as it's only a 25-minute sprint race and they should be on endurance tyres, so it should last them at least, as we see Alan Marks going through the foreground, taking us through with 11.5 minutes to go. P4's Jeremy Perez. Looks like he's quite comfortable with a decent gap, 10-second gap in front and 5.5 seconds behind. So Grabel's definitely chewing up that lead to Opposano in P1. He's only got 10 minutes to make a move, and at that rate, I think he's going to be close. So we'll come back to that at the end of towards the end of the racing, unless something happens. Michael Denellen's still holding firm in P6, not really buckling to the pressure with Bryce Cross right on his tail. We go on board Bryce's car at the moment. Both in the Beamers, as mentioned before. There's quite different lines there, but the speeds are, here we go, we've got a gain now. We see him get up the inside. You see Denellen really covering that inside line if he was to dive on the inside. Alan Marks quite comfortable in P5 in the red BMW M6. Got the red mist on and the tongue in the mouth. You can tell he means business as he races with us from the shop. I can see him from my commentary box. Oh, Denellen just slightly losing it there on the exit, but he hasn't lost any space to Bryce. Go back up front as Grabel was catching. He was down to 1.5 and now he's dropped back to 1.8. He's quickly go back to the front. There's a gap there. Quite visual, so it's giving Trent something to chase for as he chases the back of the blue PlayStation BMW M6 of Daniel Opposano. Lost the slipping back a bit, but again he's quite comfortable in P3. Got a big gap ahead and behind him. Behind him is Jeremy Perez, P4. Alan Marks, and this battle for P6 is really where it's at. Two cars going toe to toe. Michael getting the better, covering his lines, but he can't make mistakes like that because he's just letting Bryce Cross through, and he has taken the position. It looks like Denellen's taken the position back and they go side by side down the main straight. It's Bryce, it's Michael, it's Bryce, it's Michael. This is the gap. Can he get in the draft and pull out? He's going to go tight on the inside line. It will cross Hold firm. Yes, he's taken a tight line, protected that inside. And that's enough for Denellen to make a slight mistake and give Bryce a bit more breathing space. But Michael's definitely back on the tail of Bryce. Okay, so Grabell up the front, definitely making inroads now on Opedasano's lead. Well, we won't go to that view. Here it is, this is for the lead. Grabell up on the inside of Opedasano. Will he run wide on those old tyres? Opedasano come back. He's trying to, he's getting on the gas. He's definitely gonna get on the back of Trent. He's pulled out a bit too early, but the speed difference was too much. He had to pull out early. And we see them both battling for the lead coming over the crest into turn 1. Grabell gets it on the inside. Opedasano's letting that happen, taking the wider line so we can get on the gas and come up the inside, but it's still not going to get him back up front. So Trent's not really stretching away too much, but we see Cross back in that battle for P6. He's definitely starting to pull away from Michael Denellen now. As we see Alan Marks getting on the back of Jeremy and Pernes, it looks like. Jeremy making a couple of mistakes. Not too sure if these tyres are lasting the race. See the Ferrari taillights going on, trying to protect the line there, going past George Russell corner, up into Arrabbiata. No real room on the inside there because you're just going to get squeezed out. But he's going to make a good run up the inside. Was there a touch there? Not too sure, but it's under brakes. That's a good move from Alan Marks as he takes P4 from Pernes. So it looks like Cross is actually trying to get on the back of this group. With 4.5 minutes, there's still time left. Surely it's about tyre management at this point. Go back up front because Opedasano is really sticking on the back of Group L. There it is, there's a gap back to second. This is the lead of the race. So once the leader crosses the line after the time's finished, I think that's their last lap. So Grabell's probably sweating bullets, but that car's air conditioned, I'd say, so looks like he's quite comfortable in P1. Foster, we haven't seen much of him tonight. He's been quite lonely in P3. But definitely the battles back with P4 and soon to be 5 as Cross is ready to take another victim in Jeremy Pernes, moving himself up into P5. Can he do it? Bryce Cross from New Zealand. Just go through and see the other Kiwis. We've got Kieran Cutforth quickly in P8. He's eyeing off the back of Denellen in P7. We've got Nick Fiddick racing from the store in here. Liam Earl, who pitted earlier, found his way at the back of the pack in P10. Jaslowski in P11 and Stuart Patterson in pit lane. Go back up front quickly, you don't want to miss anything. As Cross right on the back of Pernes. Perner's probably struggling on those tyres. 2.5 minutes to go. It's probably 2 laps max. Come down the main straight. He's probably got this lap and one more. As Denellen's making a bit of noise. There's Bryce Cross coming on the back of looks like Jeremy's broken early, and that's balked Bryce Cross into the gravel. He hasn't lost a position yet, but those tyres are not going to help him, as he's just lost 2 positions. It's very unfortunate. Not too sure what happened there. Maybe Perner's broke early because he's on bad tyres, but Denellen and Cutforth are moved up a spot, and Cross unfortunately has lost 4 spots in that transaction, as Denellen's really slipping and sliding, trying his best to stay out in front. It's a 3-way battle for P6. That's given Pertnez a bit of breathing space out in P5. Can't ignore the race for P2, and they're both driving it hard, braking late as they coming onto the main straight. Not too sure if this is the last lap or not. This is the run for the checkered flag. No, we've still got 40 seconds to go, so I'd say this is the last lap. Patterson tries to make an issue and get back into P1. Grabel's going to brake hard into turn 1 though on the inside. Denellen's going to make him work for it round the outside. Who's going to get the better grip and the better drive out of turn 1? Oh, this is close, ladies and gentlemen. How good is this race? And they haven't touched each other. And they're 2 massive cars as Grabel just hits grass. Oh, and he's lost it. He's lost traction. Opatosano breathing a sigh of relief there as Grabel slightly hit the gravel and just lost it. So it looks like that could be it for Grabel, but we'll go back to this 3-way battle. And it's Cross, Denellen and Cutforth all battling for P6. 3 wide it looks like into turn 1. Bryce really struggling on turn 1, going around the outside. Cutforth trying to get it up on the inside, but Cross has got a better run on here. It's hard to know who to watch at this point. Grabel's got back 2.5 seconds, so it looks like Opatosano will take the win. Still got couple of corners to go, so we'll go back to this battle. 3-way battle for P6. There we go, Cross trying to get it up on the inside, past Russell Corner, into Double Arrabbiata, Primo and Secundo. And here comes Opatosano. Victory, race 1, round 1, GT3 League. He's a happy chappy as he takes the win. Well deserved, just ahead of Trent Grabel. Thomas Foster's going to take P3, but it's worth going back to Alan Marks in P4. Jeremy Pertnez comfortable in 5, but here's the battle for P6. 3-way battle, who's it going to be? We're going to start getting desperate here. We're on board with Kieran Cutforth up in the last corner. Is he going to make a nice dive? It's a great battle. Here we go, who's got the better run? Kieran looks like he got traction early, but Cross has got the draft of Denellen, and it looks like it's going to hold. Look at this for a finish. Excellent finish. Michael Denellen, Bryce Cross, Cutforth. Great effort for P6. Great racing there. Really respectful of each other. Nick Fitty just struggling on the last turn as he comes to take the checkered. Liam Earl unfortunately had to pit early, whether it was a penalty or for some reason. He'll finish in P10 and Troy Cieslawski in P11. What a fantastic race towards the end. Okay, we'll go to the race results. Daniel Padasano taking up first race. Trent Bell P2, Thomas Foster P3, Alan Marks P4, Jeremy Pernes in 5, and Michael Dinellen winning the race across the line with the 3. Not much in the gap there. Bryce Cross, Kieran Cutforth, Nick Fiddick, Liam Earl in P10, Troy Jaslowski and Stuart Patterson rounding out your top 12. Okay, so I've got to reset the server. And we'll just go to a quick commercial break.
There's a new whiskey in town, one that embodies the strength and character of our people, that dares to do it our own way. Crafted by a master distiller to create something uniquely Australian. Ned, Australian Whiskey.
With thanks to our sponsors, Julian James at Burleigh Heads, Racecentre is proud to announce that we'll be giving away this Supercars Limited Edition Pulsar watch to the winner of our 2020 V8 League season. The special watch features include chronograph function, stainless steel hard-coated case with black pattern leather strap and red stitching, date, calendar and 100 meters water resistant. Once again, we'd like to thank our friends at Julian James. Hey, buddy. Okay, welcome back. We're just getting ready for race 2. Just going to sort the grid as it's going to be reverse of the qualifier result. So this makes it interesting for turn 1. So please stand by, we won't be too long. Ready, so we're going into race 2.
Attention grid, will all non-essential personnel leave the grid now?
Okay, so it is a standing start once again. Reverse grid of the qualifying results. So that puts Czeslowski up the front. Michael Dinella, Nick Fiddick, Kieran Cutforth. Okay, so we're waiting for the green. Troy's a bit slow to get off, and that's of course a big pile up for the 3 Hurricanes in the race. We've got Dinella up front, making a full advantage as he showed early pace in race 1. Well, I think that's Liam Earl on the inside there in the Ferrari 488. Dinella comes across, tries to go wide, but that's unfortunately forced Liam into the gravel. A few drivers hitting that curb, getting a bit loose there as Dinellan's got a commanding lead in the BMW M6, followed by Alan Marks, Grubel, Cutforth and Pernez. Grubel starting from the back of the grid, it's already up into P3. Cutforth falling back, I'm not too sure what happened to him. He's in the grass, a bit of action from the Kiwis going on at the back of the grid, back of the race I should say. Alan Marks, and here comes Grubel. On the back of Alan Marks at P2, deep under brakes goes Grubel in that Bentley. Quite surprising for what looks like a heavy car, but definitely can hold its own weight, that's for sure. He tries to go up on the inside. Alan Marks shut the gate on the nose there of the Bentley. Rob Cross is trying to, in that early incident, trying to get on the back of Pernez in P1. And further down we've got Liam Earl with Nick Fiddick going up the inside. He's got to get a good long run out of this turn. Get right up the exhaust pipe. That's early in front. He gets the job done. But will he keep it? No, he's run wide. Outbraked himself and ran wide into the gravel. He drops down back into P9. So Dinellan's made a mistake up front, and that's given the lead back to Grubel, but now it's a 3-way battle for P2 P2, as we can see, Alan Marks, Pernes and Donnell, and further back that's Tom Foster. Liam having a, I won't say a better run, but last race it looks like he pulled out early for the pits for some reason, whether he jumped to start or not. But he's got Cross right behind him in P6. We go back to P2. There's a three-way battle here. We've got three cars all vying for P2 as Gribel starts to stretch his lead by 1.5 seconds. Janellen recovering from that earlier off track to still be in P4. Got Gribel, got Pernes here. P3 trying to run wide, trying to get a good long run, but Marks is trying to go on the inside. See if Pernes gets any gain in the drafting as Gribel just posts the fastest lap of 1:52.345. Still a couple of seconds long the earlier race, but it's early days. We're only 4.5 minutes into the second race. Pernes really struggling on tyres in that first race. He knows he's got to drive a bit differently if he's going to make this one last. It's the same distance as last race, so the guys should be learning each time how they're going to manage those tyres to the end of the race. Can't afford to throw too much speed into the corners. You're just going to make those fronts work harder for you. Everyone seemed to be posting purple sectors. Gribel, Pernes, Foster and Cutforth all just recently posting their fastest lappers. Now it's a four-way battle for P2, I'd say, with Gribel stretching his lead to 3.3 seconds. And we can see Cross getting the job done on Earl back in P6, but Earl will stay there for the remainder of the race, I'd say. So it's Beamer, Ferrari, Beamer, Lamborghini. Good mix of cars. Definitely they do use the tyres differently, so there are advantages at Mugello for particular cars. It's a matter of just picking one car and getting used to it, and getting the most out of that car, especially for this circuit. So we see Pernes come around the turn early, Foster getting on the back of Donnell. Here's a gap getting up the draft, really pull out the outside, Donnell loads the inside line. Turn 1, he'll stay there all the way to turn 1. We see deep under brakes past the 100-metre line. Well, Donnell, he holds a bit, he's running a bit wide into Foster. Will Foster get a good drive? Foster's right up beside him to turn 2. And he's got to sit back again as Donnell's overcooking those rears, trying to get the traction down. He gets the job done, he's got it for the next corner. Being a bit stronger under brakes, and he's tapped Foster slightly, and that's unfortunate, but he gets back on the road and rejoins down into P7 as he lets Cross and Cutforth through. Further up the field, Marks has got Pernes right up his clacker, trying to get in front. You see him trying to take the inside line, but he's over-rotating. Really burning up those fronts, which is what he was complaining about in that first race. When he sees a car in front of him, he'll do anything to get up in front of it. Probably should do a real rotation to set the car, but like from inside he's over-rotating. He's lost a bit of time to Marks there. Still in P3. If he keeps doing that, he'll find Donnell on his rear bumper trying to pass him. He's got Liam Earl, Foster and Kieran Cutforth someone running wide there. That's Denellen running wide. So he's losing more spots, relegating himself down to P7 at the moment, but he'll lose another spot. And there he goes into P8. So we've got Foster cut fourth. Where are they? Coming over the crest now. Foster's nice work from the Beamer to close in on the Lamborghini. Got Ferrari, Lamborghini and the two BMWs. They've just got to settle the cars down. We're almost halfway through the race now. 16 minutes left to go. And it's Grubel out front, 6 seconds, quite commanding. Marks and Pernez, bumper to bumper. This is a great battle, P2. If you're out there watching, let us know. Mark's doing okay out in P2. It looks like he's not bothered by Pernez behind, but he is right up there. You can see Pernez trying to get on the gas early. The rear comes out, lining up the rears, but the battle's behind them. Bryce Cross is pulling away, but Liam Earl's got Thomas Foster, a seasoned campaigner of our leagues in the Formula 1 and the V8. Surprising to see him down the back here, but from that earlier incident he's got no choice but to work back up the field, losing valuable time. He's just got to work himself back through the field as he's currently sitting in P6. Cut fourth, just losing P7 to Michael Denellen as he moves his way up. Cut fourth, slipping back to P8. Nick Fiddick in P9. Tosh Cieslowski rounding out the top 10 going into turn 1. Back up front, the Pernez still trying to make an issue, force a mistake from Alan Marks in the BMW M6. But he's too smart for that. Looks like Foster's got the job done on Liam Earl in P6, so he moves up into P5. British Racing Green Ferrari, a bit strange to see. So we see Cutforth just going wide in the background there in the Turner BMW. Foster, Earl and Denellen. We saw before Foster and Denellen coming together, and Foster losing out at that one. 3.5 minutes to go. They're still relatively close. We go on board with the cockpit of Liam Earl there, P6. See where he starts to brake, just after the 100 metre. Getting it nice and tight. Down the third gear. Keeping in third gear to just trying to look after those tyres, not switching the weight of the car around too much. Get up to fourth. Let's see if he tips it down to third to get it turned in. And decides to brake early, nice and smooth through there. He's being patient on the accelerator. Down through Russell Corner. So we're into the Arrabbiata Primo and Arrabbiata. So looking at the times, it's still Allen and Pernes the closest battle. We can see him peppered through the track there. It only takes one mistake and this could be another race back for P2. No one really making an issue. They're all quite spaced out, at least 1 to 2 seconds apart. Down the main straight, it's Alan Marks. We've got a penalty for Trent Rebel. The leader of the race has just received a penalty. There's probably too much cut track. Not too sure if that's going to be a drive-through or stop and go. My guess is a stop and go. We should serve this and still come out mid-pack. That's going to bring Alan Marks back up into the fold as he's only 6 seconds back. Quite unfortunate for Group L receiving a penalty there. He's got 3 laps to serve it, so we'll see where and when he serves it. Maybe he'll do a Lewis Hamilton, trying to pump out the laps before he has to come in for the penalty, reducing his deficit to the other cars. But this will mix up the results tonight for sure. Okay, we'll just watch Trent Rebel currently in the lead with a 6-second gap. He's got to serve a penalty now. And it is quite relatively long pit lane to serve a penalty. As he runs wide, he's really pushing the limit here. 10 minutes remaining to the race. Will he come into the pits? No, he's going to stay out for another lap, so we'll watch Alan Marks see if he reduces that gap. Grabel really stretching that lead out to almost 9 seconds now. So yes, he's going to pump a few laps in. I see a little battle going behind. That's Bryce Cross on the back of Jeremy Pernes, and Pernes switching. Let's hope he just doesn't switch back into the braking zone. Really got to hold his line there, which they do into turn 1. Pernes smoking it up. Cross really patient on the outside there. Pernes has made the mistake running wide, and that's got Bryce Cross up into P2. You can see Foster in P4 now, trying to come up and gain back P3 from Bryce Cross. But once Trent Rebel serves his penalty, we're not too sure where he's going to rejoin. My guess is he's probably going to rejoin around the P6, P7 mark between Earl and Denellen, as the pit lane would probably be about a 20-second run through the lane there. Just go on board with Group L, see if he goes in this lap to serve the penalty. We've got yellow in sector 2. Watch Trent Rebel. Will he dive in this lap? No, he's going to do it one more time. He'll be getting warnings throughout the race, letting him know he's got to pit this lap. Smoking it up. Okay, we'll go on board with Group Bell. I'm really interested to see when he's going to serve this penalty. When and if he's going to serve this penalty. Stretched the lead out almost 10 seconds. So we'll probably come back out in the P5, P6. So we see Pernes. Just stay here until we pass the pit lane for the final time. Just Group Bell may receive a and he stayed out, so I'm not too sure what the stewards are going to do there. He's definitely not relinquishing that lead. We'll go to Marks and Foster. Marks comfortably in second, Foster third. And that is Bryce Cross, an incredible P4. Right behind him, that's where the battle is. This is Liam Earl on the back of Jeremy Pernes. We're looking at the back bumper of Pernes. Deep into the braking zone, we see Earl braking later. Earl's doing a better job with traction, and Pernes slips back to P6. Five minutes to go, the end of the race. It's Group Bell out front. We'll see where the others are now. So he's still stretching his lead out, almost 11 seconds. But Pernes and Earl is the battle of the race so far. Just missed Pernes getting that spot back. Not too sure which one. They're definitely swapping turns. This is a great battle. Just see the timing, but Earl's going to get the inside light. Pernes trying to move over a bit too early there. But Earl held firm to take P5. With 4 minutes to go, Group Bell's still circulating. Probably going to receive a time penalty at the end of the race. So the gap's opening up now for P4 and 5. Sorry, P5 and 6 with Liam Earl and Jeremy Pernes. Earl's just got to stay out in front. He's racing from New Zealand. Pernes is racing from the shop here in Sydney. As we see, Pernes just making a fundamental mistake into turn 1. Giving Earl a bit more breathing space. Bryce Cross doing a good job in P4, still in touch with Tom Foster in P3. No real challenges around the circuit as we see the timings. Just go for a lap with Trent Bell. Can't see much through the tight windscreen of the Bentley. Going in third in the last turn. See what other angles we can get from it. And here it goes, he's serving his penalty now. Okay, so where's Alan Marks? Alan Marks is still on track, still got a fair bit to go. He's coming down the main straight, but Trent Bell is getting a drive through. Here comes Alan Marks down the main straight. And then we see Trent Bell coming out back in P2. So he'll probably sit there, but Foster's closing close behind. And Alan Marks takes the lead. There's Foster and there's Bell. So Grabel's definitely served his penalty there in the lone Bentley of the circuit. And he comes back out at P3. So Alan Marks out in front with a 2.9 second lead over Foster. Yeah. 1 minute to go. This is probably going to be the last, could be the last lap. He's got Foster 2.9 seconds behind him. And Grabel is stretching away from Cross and moving up on Foster into P2. This may be the last lap or 1 lap to go after this, but definitely you can see the top 4 in the one shot there with only about four corners to go. Okay, so Alan Marks coming up to the last corner of the race, or last corner of the lap. Whether it's the last corner of the race, we've got 12 seconds to go, but I think he's going to cross the finish line with still time left, so that's going to give us another lap. No, 5, 4, 3. Oh, that means we're going 1 more lap, ladies and gentlemen. So Alan just needs to hold his nerve and keep it out front, Foster in P2. But will that give Grabel enough time to take back at least P2 from that earlier incident? He probably received a drive-through penalty for cutting the track too many times in a race. And that'll be lesson learnt for the 3rd race. He runs wide, letting Cross move up behind. And we've got Cut Forth on the back of Pernes, struggling on those old tyres in the Lambo. Definitely struggling in the first race, and towards the end of this race he's struggling again. As we see Alan Marks going around the Arabiata, and Foster's closing in. 1.96, but it definitely looks a lot closer than that. Go back to Cut Forth on Pernes, because this could be a position change before the end of the race. Really closing in on the back of Pernes now, as Foster's down to 1.5 seconds behind Marks. I don't think it's going to be enough for this race. And we've got Cross on the back of Grabel. Maybe Grabel struggling on those old tyres. He's not going to make an issue for P2, but he definitely might lose P3 to Cross as we watch Alan Marks quickly watch Cross into the final corner. Yes, he's diving up the inside. A little touch there. We've got Alan Marks coming across the start-finish. He's going to cross the line in P1 just ahead of Thomas Foster, as you can see, right behind in P2. Then it's Grabel just getting ahead of Liam Earl in P5. P6 will be Cut Forth, who moved up on Pernes. He's just got 1 corner to go. Last corner of Mugello. And we see Pernes struggling to get any grip on the fronts there, so definitely towards the end of that race Pernes struggles as Cut Forth crosses the line in P6, Pernes in P7. P8 will now be a battle between, this is for position, so Jaslowski in P8 and Denellen in P9. Denellen was leading the start of the race, but had an earlier incident, saw him get in the grass and lose a few positions. Jaslowski trying to protect the inside line there. To see Denellen go out wide and Jaslowski struggling for grip again. Now side by side, it's a sprint to the start finish line. Who's it going to be? We're on board with Jaslowski, looking at Denellen. Denellen's moved up into P8, taking it away from Jaslowski in P9. And coming across in P10. Okay, congratulations to Alan Marks. Thomas Foster in P2, Tranquil Belt with that drive-through penalty relegates himself back down in P3. Bryce Cross in P4, Liam Earl P5 in the Ferrari 488. Kieran Cutt fourth, moving up into P6 ahead of Jeremy Pernes, struggling on those tyres in the Ferrari. In P7, Michael Donnellan taking P8 from Troy Chislarski in P9, and rounding out the top 10's Nick Biddick. With thanks to our sponsors, Jewelry on James at Burley Heads, Racecentre is proud to announce that we'll be giving away this Supercars Limited Edition Pulsar watch to the winner of our 2020 V8 League season. The special watch features include chronograph function, stainless steel hard-coated case with black pattern leather strap and red stitching, date, calendar and 100 meters water resistant. Once again, we'd like to thank our friends at Jewelry on James. Hey, buddy.
Attention grid, will all non-essential
Okay,
personnel
thanks for
leave
waiting,
the grid
ladies and
now.
gentlemen. As we go back, we've just worked out the grid. Shuffle the grid, I'll just get rid of that overlay because that was last race. We're in the third race of the night. It's a standing start. Just waiting for Trent to rejoin. We've got a couple of guys who have changed cars, so we'll see how they perform in this race. Alan Marks on pole, Trent Bell P2, and Foster getting another great run. Going up the middle. Alan's on the inside. He's got Foster on the outside in the Lamborghini. Alan's running tight, and here comes... Now they've changed cars, I can't tell who it is. I think that's Pernes in the yellow and black BMW. So he moves up into P2, quite tight. Squeezing out Foster there. Stewards are going to have a couple of words with him there. But Group Bell and Foster battling, and up there is Michael Snelling in the Vodafone BMW. Kieran's racing from New Zealand. Looks like the other Kiwis, it's a bit late for them, so they've pulled out for the final race of the night. We've got Nick Biddick who's jumped into Bentley, and Troy Jaslavsky staying in the Lamborghini. But up front, still Alan Marks with Jeremy Pernes in the Bentley. Sorry, Jeremy's in the BMW M6. So this is power to power. And look at that poor little Lamborghini in P3 and another Bentley. So this will be a fantastic race. Okay, so Pernes just accidentally getting in the back of Alan Marks, and he's pulled up to let Marks back through. It's lucky Marks held his nerve to stay in position there. We're on board with Foster. We can see Gravel in his left mirror, taking up the whole mirror, to be honest, as Foster runs wide, letting Gravel through. Down the main straight, will he get the draft back? It looks like he's got the power and definitely got the draft on Gravel. But he's got to get around the outside. Just under the 100. That's Marks and Foster up front, but it's a three-way for P2. It's almost a five-way for P1 in a second, and six-way, because we're all still together. These guys getting used to the new car and how wide they are. Grubel's trying to get up the inside. Foster, looks like Pernes just hit the grass there. Foster running wide. Got Denellen up the back of this pack, but Alan Marks out front in the red Beamer with Jeremy Pernes, Trent Grubel. Go through the Arabiata. Pernes really is in the track limits. Trying to keep it tight, but that's not really the way to go because you're going to lose. Running to the next corner. Trying to make it tight. The two have come together. Grubel's unfortunately tagged the back of Pernes, who drops back down to the back of the pack. But we can see he's just closed in on Grubel, who was up in the B pillar, so that's probably Pernes' fault for mine. Let me know in the chat who you thought was at fault there, if anything. We see Cutforth moving up into P3 through all of that, so, and Biddick up into P2. So to see Foster, Denellen and Pernes, who are battling for P2, even P1, now they're back battling for P6. So we're all still together. Alan Marks across the line, posting the fastest lap with a 1:53.809. The next best would be Grubel with a 1:54.1. So he's doing well with a bit of clear out front. Cutforth in P3, doing a great job in the Beamer. He's getting used to this circuit now, knows how to manage those tyres. We'll probably see him get closer to the front towards the end of the race as he's managing his set. See a few flame outs from the Beamer and the Bentley. On board with Alan Marks, and there's Trent Gravel right behind. Trying to close the gap, 0.682 at the moment. We've got cut forth with Nick Fittick really enjoying this Bentley over the previous car he had. I forget what it was, a Lambo. Unfortunately, cut forth just running wide there. And he's hit the gravel. That's Nick Fittick up in the P3 and the Bentley. Definitely, this is his car. First two races was up the back of the pack. Now he's definitely in P3. Hopefully he can stay, but it's Alan Marks, Trent Grubel once again. My guess is Grubel's going to go up the inside here. But Marks has gone on the inside, so Grubel's trying to go around the outside. Grubel's going to get on the gas, and we'll see him closing up towards the exit of this race. But Alan Marks really doing a good job. He hasn't lost any time through that corner, and Grubel's spent a lot to try and get a better run down the main straight. Trent Grubel posting the fastest lap of the race now, 1:52.123.1. As we see the leaders take us into turn one. Further back, it's a three-way into turn one. Chistowski there in the Lamborghini, Thomas Foster in the green and red Lamborghini, and Pernes in the Beamer. Very impatient, going forward again. Okay, so Grubel out front. Grubel trying to get out front in front of Alan Marks. Where's he going to do it? Deep under brakes. Going around the outside. Grubel's going to get a better run here, but Alan, it's only a single track through here. Go through the S's. Trent definitely deep on the brakes, trying to figure out how he's going to get past. Just stay in the groove. We can see him getting a better exit on this one. So now it's getting in the draft. Pulling out, and that's a drag race. Down the front straight. Across the start finish with 17 to go. Looks like Alan Marks has moved in the line of Trent Grubel. He's come off second best as he slips back into P4. Kieran from New Zealand's moved up into P2 now, and the BMW, all he's got to do now is keep his head down. Fittick in P3. Again, really enjoying the M Sport Bentley Continental. As he sits pretty in P3. Marks rejoins in P4 there. Chizlowski holding firm in the Lamborghini in P5. Janelle and Pernes struggling down the back there. Janelle still in the BMW, but Jeremy was doing a lot better in the BMW, but he's just been caught up in a couple of incidents. And Thomas Foster's had enough and he's pulled out, struggling to get to the front of the grid with drivers cutting him off the circuit. Unfortunate, Pernes thought he wasn't up far enough, but he was, and unfortunately Foster coming off second best there. But up the front, cut fourth in P2. Going around a lap with Kieran cut fourth from New Zealand. Final turn of the lap here at Mugello in Italy. Okay, so that lap time was his personal best with a 1:53.821. Okay, so there's 15 minutes left of the race. You see Mark's taking back P4. And he'll be charging through to the back of Fiddick. He's got 7 seconds to gain. Czeslowski really enjoying in P5, really enjoying this GT3 class. He also drives in our V8 class as well. And he actually raced with us here in the F1 League. So he's got a bit of track familiarisation and a bit of an advantage from the other drivers who have just seen this track for the first time tonight. Loving the Lambo. Alright, so the guys are spread out a fair bit. We've got 6 and 5 second gaps between each other, so a few mistakes have definitely mixed up the results tonight. We see Grabel probably the most consistent, probably take out the round win tonight if he stays out in front. Alan Marks has got to come up probably 1 or 2 more spots to challenge for the overall round win. As we watch Fiddick take us across the line with 13 minutes to go. It's about halfway mark now. So definitely people are cottoning on that the Bentley's quite quick, as Grabel was the only Bentley driver for the first 2 races, but now a couple of other guys have jumped in, Nick Fiddick and just Nick Fiddick, so he's definitely improved. Maybe for the next race at Kyalami, he'll be choosing the Bentley straight up. There's Trent Grabel out in front. Kieran cut fourth P2 in the Turner BMW M6. Nice livery there. P3 is Nick Fiddick in their second Bentley of the race. Alan Marks is back up into P4, fighting hard to get on the back of Nick Fiddick. So we can see that Pernes has retired with mechanical damage. As we're watching Alan Marks reduce that deficit. It looks like it's actually increasing, but I'm not too sure. I'm sure it was 5 seconds before or 7 seconds. If it's 7 seconds, then he's definitely gaining because it's 6 flat at the moment. So that's Marks in P4, Czeslowski in the Team Benaldi Lamborghini, doing the Italians proud on an Italian track, so he's in P5 and probably his best position so far. Janellen deciding to stay as he comes in for a fresh set of tyres. He's overshot his pit marker. That's going to cost him more chance. He's going to fall further back behind than these guys. Go back on track. It's Alan Marks definitely reducing that deficit to Nick Fiddick up in front. Now down to 5.3 seconds as Fiddick's falling further away from cut 4 in P2. Just over 10 minutes to go. That's probably about 8 more laps. There's the warning, not warning, there's a notification, 10 minutes to go. As we see Alan Marks driving out of his skin, trying to get back into P3 and get that round win for round 1 of Racecentre's GT3 League for 2020. Been a bit of a late start for us with COVID to get the GT3 League up and running, but we're glad we are because it's provided some great racing tonight. Hopefully we see the guys back for round 2 in 2 weeks' time on a Wednesday night. So we just saw Denellen in the foreground coming out of his pit stop. Looks like Alan Marks is forward drifting, but Fiddick's just up in front there. Gap now down to 4.7 seconds. Needs to get a move on. Denellen is a lap car in between them, so hopefully there's no incident for Alan Marks to get through on the lap driver. Let's quickly have another look at the GT3 League schedule for 2020. We're currently at Mugello, but next race will be in 2 weeks' time at Kyalami in South Africa on the 21st. Same format, unless the guys want to change it up a bit, but you'll see us back at Kyalami in 2 weeks' time. Back to the racing, and that's Denellen getting on the back of Fiddick, but we really want to watch that red Beamer catch the white Bentley for change of position, the gap down to 4.4 seconds. Denellen on fresher tyres, probably going to be a bit faster. I'm not too sure if Fiddick wants to let him go through. I know Denellen will want to get through, but as a lap driver, you don't really want to race the leaders. On ball with Denellen up the back of Fiddick down the main straight. Trying to get the draft. Probably drive up on the inside, keep on the braking, but we can see Bentley really strong under brakes, even though he's going wide. Denellen trying to unlap himself on fresher tyres. Fiddick just needs to let that one go and just protect the rear, because we can see Alan Marks catching now with 3.6 seconds behind and 7 minutes to go in the race. We'll give Group Bell out front a bit of airtime. Trent actually works at Racecentre for the weekend, so if you ever want to catch up with him, by all means drop in and say g'day, and he'll look after you on our full motion sims here in Sydney. He also is a real life driver for Australian Time Attack and World Time Attack as well. So he's definitely got track IRL track experience. Fiddick nice and smooth out in P3. Unfortunately, the cockpit's a bit too low to see out of, but we know that Marks is closing in behind. We can see the gap right there. 6 minutes to go. Probably about 4 laps, I'd say. 4 to 5 laps max as he runs right, gets a good run through there. This is leading up to the final corner of the circuit. Smoking up, going a bit wide. This is usually see Alan Marks making gains there, but Fiddick getting out of that corner a lot better than Alan Marks before. getting the draft there. He's not really gaining a little draw by the end of the straight. It is quite a long straight. Drafting Fittick's up on the inside. They go side by side, rubbing fenders into turn 2. Alan Marks is just being patient. He knows he's caught him in the last 3 laps and there's still 5 laps to get the job done. All Fittick needs to do is do what he's been doing and he should be right. But it's easier said than watching a red BMW right behind you. Only 24 seconds behind. Go through Russell Bent and the Arabiatas. That's how Alan Marks up on the inside. Will he keep it done coming over the crest? Yeah, so that's Alan Marks up in a P3. Good job there. Starting to stretch away now, half a second in front. Fittick's struggling on the older tyres, Bentley. So Marks moves up in the P3. Bell practice across the start finish line. Posting the fastest lap of the race with a 1:51.83. 4 minutes ago. And Kieran Cutforth doing a great job in P2. Really showing his strength now in the 3rd race of the evening. Probably getting caught up in some earlier incidents which has kept him down the back for the first 2 races, but now he's got some clean air. He's definitely proven himself as he's 15 seconds behind the leader, but he's got a 10-second gap back to Marks. So Marks stretching that lead on Fittick by 2.4 seconds. That's Fittick coming around the second bend. I'm sure he'll be happy for P4 tonight, for this race. Cieslawski still flying the flag for the top 5 for Italy in the Lambo Italian Mugello combination. Denellen, after his pit stop for tyres, is posting the fastest laps of the race, other than Trent Grabel out in the lead. And he's just posted a 1:53.332. We see Cieslawski just getting wide there. Denellen getting in the middle of P2 and 3 at the moment. So he'll probably sit there as there's only 2.2 seconds left in the race. It's a really good circuit for these GT3 cars. There's a lot of straights, a lot of turns. Really challenging every aspect of the GT3 class tonight in our GT3 League for 2020. The league's going to be running every second Wednesday night, as mentioned before, so if you missed this one, definitely get in contact with us and join us in 2 weeks' time on Wednesday night for round 2 at Kyalami. That'll be definitely a challenging track for these cars. Quite a shorter track as well. That's Grabel in P1, P2. Still Kieran Cutforth racing with us from New Zealand. Have to find out what part of New Zealand he's racing from. That's Denellen in the background cutting his hot laps. Nick Fittick into pits for tyres. And he's overshot so he's going to lose that. Troy Cieslawski is up into P4. Fantastic job. Nick Fittick couldn't make those tyres last for the race, so hopefully he comes out still staying in P5. That's a long pit stop for him. And where's Denellen? Challenging. So Denellen's at least half a track away. So I'm sure Fiddick will come back out, still in P5. It's a long pit stop for him, and that's why probably Denellan's so far back. Denellan's still got about 10 seconds before he even comes back, so Fiddick really needs to get out on track very soon. He's probably taking the field, so there he goes. You see Denellan coming on the main straight. So my guess is he's going to lose P5. 5 seconds to go, this will be their last lap. So where does that put him? Okay, so he's safely out in P5, but he's only got 2 seconds out in front. Trent Grabel coming round for the last time tonight in the GT3 League. Third of 3 races, all 25 minutes long. Like Cutforth's going to do well in P2, taking home P2, but we see Alan Marks in the red BMW right behind him. He's 4 seconds back, but we're on our last lap, so I don't think we're going to see a position change unless something unfortunate happens to Cutforth. Hopefully not. So it's Grabel out in front, bringing us around for the last lap of the race. Alan Marks trying to keep it steady, going through the Arabiatas, and that's how far back he is. But Cutforth is now down to 3.97 seconds ahead of Alan Marks. So there's not much track left for Alan to gain. But here comes Trent Grabel, taking the checkered flag, and probably the round win for the evening in the Bentley. Solid job from Trent Grabel tonight. Unfortunate penalty in race 2 meant he had to do a stop go, but he still came back out in P3. And here comes Kieran Cutforth in P2. Great job. Best result of the night, and close behind Alan Marks in P3. Troy Cieslawski only a couple of corners to go before he takes P4, his best result ever with us at Racecentre, I think. So great job. He's really found his calling in the GT3 class, I think. Really managing those tyres quite well. So it looks like the other drivers have already completed their race. Everyone waving the flag, congratulating him, but Troy Cieslawski is still yet to take the checkered as we watch him come down the main straight. And that's P4, best result. He's happy with that, you can tell. Probably going to crash at the end of that. It's just to celebrate. Okay, so the results there: Trent Grabel, Kieran Cutforth, Alan Marks, Troy Cieslawski in P4, best result for him. Nick Fiddick, great result for him, changing to the Bentley. Michael Denellan in P6, Jeremy Pernes P7, and rounding out the finishing 8 is Thomas Foster. Okay, so just showing this schedule, and if you want to join us, you can. Just get in contact with us for the next round in 2 weeks' time at Kyalami. That's on the 21st of October. And just join with us, hit Discord, and get on board. Thanks for joining us, and hope to see you on the next round of the GT3 League. Good night.